Hunter Biden used Air Force One and Air Force Two at least 23 times.
Mr. Reagan.
A new study released by the CDC reports that 49.1% of adults in the United States are obese. This study also found that 56.4% of women tried to lose weight versus 41.7% of men, and the percentage of adults trying to lose weight correlated with income. Typical recommendations for weight loss are to stay physically active, count calories, and cut out carbs. But the issue with these solutions is that they don't always get to the heart of the problem. This is why I love Keto Elevate from BioTrust. It's the quickest way I know to lose weight. It works in a similar fashion to how the popular keto diet works, which is that it melts fat, tones your muscles, and reduces cravings. Thousands of Americans see results within days of taking Keto Elevate. Now, Keto Elevate is a C8 MCT oil powder that you can look up the benefits to, and from all the research that I've done, it's a legitimately excellent supplement to help with weight loss. And I will say that I have done keto, and I have used this MCT oil, and I did lose weight, no question. I've actually slacked off a little bit on my diet recently, and I gained a few pounds, and I deeply regret it. So don't be like me. Go get yourself some of this stuff. I do highly recommend it. I actually take a few products from BioTrust, genuinely, so I am a fan of their stuff, and so does Valeria, actually, my wife. We both do. So try Keto Elevate today, 51% off by going to ketowithreagan.com or click on the link in the description below. All right, you remember that there was some criticism of Hunter Biden flying on Air Force Two with his father, Joe Biden, to go to China. This is obviously part of the reason why people thought there was some kind of conflict of interest there. But I mean, obviously, it's far, far worse than a conflict of interest. We're talking about most likely. Well, okay, okay. The reason I'm saying most likely is because I'm on YouTube and I don't want them to go, oh, this is disinformation, right? Like they did about COVID being released from the Wuhan lab. Oh, it's disinformation. We got to delete this video. You know what they're like. They got a freaking hair trigger. They'll just delete you, like that. But let's say most likely, or at least I think it's likely, that Hunter Biden was taking bribes for his father. Okay, this seems like the most likely scenario to me in the case of Hunter Biden in Ukraine and Hunter Biden in China. And, they kept on saying, Joe Biden kept on saying, no, I don't know anything about my son's work. I don't know, but totally separate. I just talked to him about personal stuff like smoking crack and stuff like that. I don't talk to him about his business dealings. Oh, I don't know, nothing to do with that.
Mr. Vice President, how many times have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses, period.
Do you stand by your statement that you did not discuss any of your son's overseas business dealings?
Yes, I stand by that statement.
Okay, well, we've just discovered, thanks to, I think it was Tom Fitton who found all this stuff, we just discovered that Hunter was flying around with his dad, Joe, on these government airplanes, these executive airplanes, jets, obviously, 23 times, 23 flights, 411 trips across 29 countries between 2009 and 2014, right, when Joe Biden was vice president. So let's go ahead and read the headline here from Breitbart. It says, Secret Service records show that Hunter Biden took at least 23 flights through Joint Base Andrews, home of Air Force One and Air Force Two. According to the Secret Service travel records obtained by Judicial Watch, Biden's son Hunter took 411 trips across 29 countries between 2009 and the middle of 2014. That includes 23 flights into or out of Joint Base Andrews, home to Air Force One and Air Force Two. These trips, which shed light on Hunter's involvement with his father, are revealed in Breaking the News. So you can buy that book. It seems like a good book. I probably won't buy it. I shouldn't say that, but I have a pile of books that I'm trying to get through already, so I can't afford the time. My new book, exploring the corruption that drove the establishment media, I think, to cover up the Hunter Biden scandal. Despite this evidence that there was not an absolute wall between Hunter and Joe when it comes to business endeavors, the establishment press has shown little interest in exploring whether Hunter was actually leveraging his father's power to enrich himself. But I think it's worse than that. I mean, see, the reason Republicans always say this, that Hunter was using, his father's name to enrich himself, which I don't actually think that is a criminal act or even necessarily particularly unethical. People do that basically all the time. The reason that they don't go as far as I do and say that what it looks like to me is that he was taking bribes on behalf of his father is because unless you can actually show that and have Joe Biden tried for that in a court of law and convicted for it, I think probably some people consider it irresponsible to claim that. And that's also, I think, part of the reason why I don't say it outright that this is exactly what happened, even though it looks like pretty clearly to me that that's what happened. So it's just a matter of being careful about what you're claiming and all that stuff. But I think these people are being weak. I think we need to claim this because I think that this is what happened. That's what I think. And I think they believe it too. I mean, all signs point to it, right? But people are like afraid to make this claim. Like, how many claims did they make about Donald Trump that were obviously false? I mean, the left doesn't have any qualms about making irresponsible claims about the right. So why do we have qualms about making totally reasonable claims about the left? This is not an irresponsible claim. This is a totally rational, reasonable conclusion to come to if you want to speculate about this. I mean, it seems clear as day to me he was taking bribes from China and Ukraine and various other places for his father, right? Joe Biden, to me, it looks like, was making policy decisions that were being swayed and influenced based on the amount of money he was getting from various countries through Hunter Biden. And that's what it looks like is going on here. I mean, why else is Hunter Biden with him on all these flights? The New York Times, for example, published a story in 2020 portraying Hunter as a skilled artist who was mastering painting. The article headlined, "There's a new artist in town. The name is Biden," unironically featuring glossy photos of a relaxed and polished Hunter Biden working away in his studio. The American public has been told consistently that Hunter Biden is as pure as the driven snow. Joe Biden called his son the smartest guy I know. After he said that Hunter Biden is the smartest guy he knows, we all kind of just laughed at that because Hunter Biden's clearly a moron. But then as I saw Joe Biden carrying on as president and doing whatever the crap he was doing, I just thought, you know what? Maybe Hunter Biden is the smartest guy he knows. I'm not sure Joe Biden knows that many smart people. And that actually got a lot of likes on the Twitter. Dr. Joe Biden, who has a doctorate in education, and Joe both expressed confidence that Hunter had done nothing wrong. And of course, Joe and he thought it was all Russian disinformation. And of course, Facebook and Twitter famously censored bombshell reporting by the New York Post. You guys know about that, obviously, on Hunter Biden. That has not been proven to be Russian or disinformation. Did anyone of those in the media who supported the suppression of the Hunter Biden email story investigate exactly where Hunter was going on those trips and with whom? Not as far as I can tell. NBC News, Washington Post, etc., 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 all indulged the Democrat disinformation campaign that protected the Bidens and the dishonest. I mean, okay, so basically the point of this is, and I think, sweetheart, can you take care of that cat? The point of this is that there's really a double standard with the media. There's a double standard with the Justice Department. There's a double standard with the FBI. There's a double standard with all these entities where if you're a Republican, they'll throw the book at you. They'll investigate you. I mean, look at Donald Trump right now. The state of New York is looking into minute detail everything that Trump's company has ever done to try to find something criminal that they can charge him with so they can try to put him in prison. This is political persecution, right? This is what they do in third world countries. This is what dictators do to try to get rid of their opposition. This is political persecution. This is not the prosecution of a criminal. This is the persecution of a political enemy. That's all that is. On the other hand, they cover up anything that could get them in trouble, get people on their own side in trouble. Oh, Joe Biden can get in trouble. Let's cover this up. Joe Biden's son could get in trouble. Let's cover it up. Dinesh D'Souza just came out with a great video where he's talking about how they're trying to cover up Cuomo's sins now, right? Cuomo had the massive nursing home scandal, and the Southern District of New York, who's investigating Trump, they're saying that they're going to be investigating Andrew Cuomo, but they're not investigating him at all. They're pretending to, but they're really just trying to buy time until maybe Cuomo can run again and maybe help him get elected. So, right. So there's a double standard with the justice system. There's a double standard with the media. We all know this. This is kind of old news, but these are just more examples for us to get enraged about and to hate Democrats even more for. Which really isn't that funny. But anyway, as I said, this is a very serious story because, and again, it's of course going to be ignored by the mainstream media, but this is just more evidence that Joe Biden and Hunter Biden have been lying all along about what they've been doing together in other countries and exactly what their relationship has been with these other governments. Yeah, Joe Biden, I think, has been taking bribes. Democrats are going to deny that, but that's what I think. Good night.
We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars. And it's been said if we lose that war, and in so doing lose this way of freedom of ours, history will record with the greatest astonishment that those who had the most to lose did the least to prevent its happening.